Before they were superheroes, award winners, or Hollywood icons, they were just regular sitcom stars, making us laugh in the 90s. Yep, before Ryan Reynolds was Deadpool, he was serving pizza on a forgotten ABC sitcom.
No!
And before Don Cheadle became a Marvel Avenger, he was managing a Miami hotel with the Golden Girls. Today, we're looking at the sitcoms of the 90s that quietly launched huge careers. And trust me, some of these will surprise you. The 90s were a golden era for sitcoms. Every week, millions of families crowded around the TV for a half hour of laughs, quirky characters, and catchphrases that somehow still stick in our heads today. And while some sitcom stars faded into TV history, others went on to become some of the most recognizable names in Hollywood. Now, when people think of 90s sitcom legends, the obvious names come up. Will Smith in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, or Jennifer Aniston in Friends. But in this video, we're skipping the obvious. Instead, we're diving into the lesser-known stories. The actors who started in 90s sitcoms you may have forgotten about, and then went on to have massive careers in film, music, and beyond. So, grab your favorite throwback snack, maybe some Dunkaroos or a fruit roll-up, because we're about to rewind the VCR and revisit the sitcom beginnings of 10 stars who took the leap from laugh tracks to Hollywood stardom. 1. Jessica Biel, Seventh Heaven.
The time girls in my class were kissing boys in my class, I was taller than every guy in my class.
Let's start wholesome. Before Jessica Biel was winning awards for dark, dramatic roles in shows like The Sinner, she was Mary Camden on Seventh Heaven. If you were alive in the 90s, you probably caught at least one episode of this family drama. It wasn't edgy, but it was everywhere. It ran for 11 seasons and was basically the definition of a WB after-school show. Biel played the athletic, rebellious Camden daughter, and it gave her a steady fan base. But here's the funny part. Biel actually tried to break free from her squeaky clean image while still on the show. She cut her hair short, posed for a controversial magazine shoot at just 17, and basically said, "Hey Hollywood, I'm more than a pastor's daughter." It worked. From there, she jumped into movies like The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, rom-coms like I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry, and eventually proved her acting range with award-worthy performances. But without Seventh Heaven, who knows if anyone would have noticed her in the first place? Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Third Rock from the Sun.
Commander, permission to speak freely.
Permission granted.
Humans over 35 cannot have sex.
No.
Give it up, it's over.
Before he was starring in Inception, Looper, or even making his own indie films, Joseph Gordon-Levitt was Tommy Solomon, the sarcastic teenage alien on Third Rock from the Sun. And yes, that's exactly as weird as it sounds. He joined the cast at just 14 years old, and the premise was hilarious. Aliens disguised as humans trying to figure out Earth. Gordon-Levitt's character was technically the oldest alien, but trapped in a teenager's body, which gave him the perfect chance to deliver some seriously funny lines. The show lasted 6 seasons and picked up a ton of Emmy Awards. And while Gordon-Levitt could have been typecast as the sitcom kid, he did the opposite. He stepped back from acting, focused on indie films like Mysterious Skin, and then came roaring back as a serious actor in blockbusters. Today, he's not just an actor, but also a director and entrepreneur. But for a lot of us, we still picture that ponytailed kid from Third Rock when we hear his name. Number 3, Jennifer Garner, Spin City.
You remember my cat, Mr. Tuggles. He died. He was my best friend in the whole world. I mean, besides you.
Jennifer Garner might be best remembered for her early 2000s run on Alias, or her romantic comedies like 13 Going on 30, but rewind just a little further and you'll find her popping up in the 90s sitcom Spin City. Spin City was a political comedy starring Michael J. Foxx, and Garner had a small recurring role as his assistant. Not exactly the kind of role that screams future Hollywood star, right? But sometimes all you need is a foot in the door. Garner used that exposure to get noticed, and soon after, she was leading her own action series, racking up awards, and eventually transitioning into films. The fun thing about Garner is that she never lost that approachable girl-next-door charm, even while headlining big action projects. Without those little sitcom roles, though, she might not have gotten her shot. Number 4, Ellen DeGeneres, Ellen.
I've never worked for a woman before. I mean, I know how to use my feminine wiles to work a man, but...
And yet, you still don't have a glue gun.
Today, Ellen is known for her daytime talk show, her voice as Dory in Finding Nemo, and her place in pop culture. But rewind to 1994, and Ellen was starring in her own sitcom, simply called Ellen. At first, it was your standard 90s sitcom. Quirky lead character, funny friends, laugh track. But in 1997, Ellen's character came out as gay, just like Ellen herself had in real life. It was groundbreaking, it was controversial, and it completely changed the way LGBTQ+ representation looked on TV. The show only lasted until 1998, partly because of the backlash, but Ellen had already cemented herself as a trailblazer. From there, she reinvented herself into the Ellen we all know today. Whether you loved her or not, you can't deny her sitcom was a career-launching moment that made history. 5. Ryan Reynolds, Two Guys, a Girl, and a Pizza Place.
Sharon.
Before Ryan Reynolds was Deadpool, the wisecracking anti-hero we all know, he was working at a pizza place. No, really. Reynolds' first big American role was on ABC's Two Guys, a Girl, and a Pizza Place in 1998. The show followed three friends trying to figure out life while working at, you guessed it, a pizza place. Reynolds played Berg, the sarcastic, lovable guy who always got himself into trouble. It wasn't a massive hit, but it ran for 4 seasons, and it gave Reynolds the chance to showcase the sarcastic humor that later became his trademark. And if you rewatch clips today, you can literally see shades of Deadpool forming. The smirk, the quick comebacks, the goofy confidence, it was all there. The sitcom itself is mostly forgotten, but without it, we might not have gotten the Ryan Reynolds we know today. 6. Don Cheadle, The Golden Palace.
Daughters of the traditional South? Those bigots in bonnets aren't staying in this hotel.
Here's one even die-hard fans might have missed. Before Don Cheadle was an Oscar-nominated actor and Marvel's War Machine, he was managing a Miami hotel in the Golden Palace. For those who don't remember, the Golden Palace was the short-lived spin-off of The Golden Girls. After B. Arthur left the original show, the rest of the cast bought a hotel, and Cheadle played Roland, the hotel manager stuck cleaning up their messes. The show only lasted 1 season, but it gave Cheadle exposure and showed off his comedic timing. He didn't stay in sitcom land for long, though. Within a few years, he was taking on more dramatic roles, like Hotel Rwanda, Crash, and eventually landing in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Looking back, it's wild to think one of Hollywood's most versatile actors once played straight man to Sophia Petrillo. 7. Queen Latifah, Living Single. Before she was starring in movies like Chicago or fronting her own talk show, Queen Latifah was running a magazine with her friends in Living Single. The show premiered in 1993 and ran for 5 seasons, starring an ensemble cast of young black professionals navigating life, love, and careers in New York City. Sound familiar? Yeah, a lot of people argue Friends borrowed heavily from Living Single's formula. Latifah played Khadijah James, the strong, witty editor of Flavor magazine. It was the perfect role for her, confident, funny, and relatable, and it cemented her as not just a rapper, but a legitimate actress. From there, she jumped into films, Broadway, and producing. She's now an Emmy and Grammy winner, and even headlines her own action series. But it all traces back to her sitcom roots in the 90s. 8. Martin Lawrence, Martin.
Tommy takes one of them. Them my mama biscuit. Them my mama biscuit. Yes, Gina. No, my mama biscuit. That's right, you cheated. Y'all ain't do nothing but snap them raggedy ass peas.
In the 90s, Martin Lawrence was everywhere. His self-titled sitcom, Martin, ran from 1992 to 1997 and turned him into one of the biggest comedy stars of the decade. What made Martin stand out was Lawrence's energy. He didn't just play Martin Payne, the loudmouth radio DJ, he also played a bunch of over-the-top side characters, like Shanae, Jerome, and the security guard, Otis. It was basically a one-man sketch show wrapped inside a sitcom. That talent for big characters translated perfectly into film. After Martin, he starred in Bad Boys with Will Smith, Big Mama's House, and a string of comedy blockbusters. His sitcom wasn't just funny. It was a launchpad that proved Lawrence could carry a show and eventually movies. 9. Jamie Foxx, The Jamie Foxx Show.
I think we should give up just yet. Now check this out. I got $1,000 in my savings account, right? If I could just go out into the community, make a small investment, flip it, make a profit.
I refuse to be involved with street pharmaceuticals.
That's not even what I'm talking about, me so corny.
Today, Jamie Foxx is an Oscar winner, a Grammy winner, and a legit superstar. But in the 90s, he was running a hotel on The Jamie Foxx Show. From 1996 to 2001, the sitcom followed Jamie King, a struggling musician who works at his family's hotel while chasing his dreams. It was funny, heartfelt, and showed off both Foxx's comedy and his musical talent. That's the key here. The show let him blend comedy with music, which became his career trademark. Not long after the sitcom ended, Foxx landed dramatic roles in Collateral and Ray. His performance as Ray Charles won him an Oscar, proving he wasn't just a funny guy, he could do it all. But for anyone who watched the Jamie Foxx show back in the day, none of that was a surprise. You could see the star power coming. 10. George Clooney, The Facts of Life.
I've been living there the past couple of years. I just like to keep up.
What were you doing in Kuwait?
I was working for an American company building hot tubs for Kuwaiti homes.
And finally, let's talk George Clooney. Before he was people's sexiest man alive, before Ocean's 11, before ER, Clooney was the handyman on The Facts of Life. Yep, from 1985 to 1987, Clooney played George Burnett, the guy who fixed things around Eastland School for Girls. Not exactly the glamorous role you'd expect from one of Hollywood's biggest leading men. After that, he spent years bouncing between short-lived sitcoms and guest spots before finally landing ER in the 90s. That's when everything clicked, and his movie career skyrocketed. But it's funny to look back now and realize that one of the smoothest, most charismatic stars alive once started out changing light bulbs and unclogging drains on a sitcom.
So there you have it, 10 Hollywood giants who got their start on 90s sitcoms. Some shows like Martin or Living Single were already hits that gave comedians the spotlight they needed. Others like The Golden Palace or Two Guys and a Girl are mostly forgotten today, except for the fact that they helped launch Don Cheadle and Ryan Reynolds. That's the magic of 90s sitcoms. They weren't just comfort TV. They were training grounds, letting actors experiment, fail, succeed, and eventually find their lane. And for us, they were part of our everyday lives. Looking back, it's kind of wild to think about how many stars we first met while we were just watching some goofy primetime comedy after homework. So now I want to know, which of these surprised you the most? Did you remember Ryan Reynolds slinging pizza or Don Cheadle babysitting the Golden Girls? Drop your favorite memory in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more nostalgic deep dives.